Today in the crypto space, we see some great green price action. Bitcoin right around $117,000, up approximately 4%. And we have Ethereum right around 4,800, up approximately 13%. And definitely the man of the match. Ethereum is pulling the rest of the altcoins to the upside with it. We have BNB, Solana, Arbitrum, ENA, and many others currently tearing it up to the upside. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator. But more importantly, I want to continue with this large cap idea. Should we be scaling into the large caps? Of course. And I want to talk about TAO. So you know what? Let's talk about the news. Let's analyze the charts and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins. Looking for opportunity, whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with the market, because we're definitely getting some green. We see the market cap rising above that $4 trillion mark once again. Very, very healthy. And obviously, it's great to see the market participation back. We see an increase in volume as we see this impulsive move, which is awesome, because ultimately we want to see volume. Ethereum doing very well today, up 13%. And as you can see, based on the top 100, a lot of the altcoins currently are pumping, right? That's the truth. Guys, we got to be real with this. If you didn't scale in the last little while on a week worth of dippage, guys, right now, unfortunately, things are pumping, and it's very tough to be buying into green candles. And yesterday on the live stream, I was very clear about the fact that we should be focusing on shifting thesis, because we've been bearish for a bit here now, guys, and ultimately we're looking for support levels, no doubt, and don't expect retracements to be that deep. That's the truth, guys. We're in bullish conditions. In bullish conditions, resets of momentum don't happen that strong, that often, and that deep, right? Ultimately, quick corrections and then continuations should be expected. Now, Bitcoin, as you can see, doing its thing, 4%. Ethereum, the man of the match. And if we keep on going down, BNB has no chill. I don't think it's, like, at this point, BNB is just on a tear. It's doing its thing, higher highs and higher lows. It is what it is, guys. Solana reaching its previous highs. It's likely to want to break out as well. Just keep in mind that Ethereum is slowly entering that scenario where it's getting risk on. Why? Because it's entering price discovery. And as it enters price discovery, risk to reward ratio is no longer there. So if you're looking for fresh entries, you're not looking at Bitcoin. You're not looking at ETH. You're basically, I wouldn't be touching BNB either, because your entry should have been already there. Now, if you're looking for fresh entries, you got to do it on the lower time frames. You got to understand that you're buying breakout moments, right? This is the thing. Breakout moments are very, very emotional moments, right? Solana has another leg, no doubt. So does BNB and many others here in the large cap territory. The problem is that you're not buying bottoms. In the meantime, after a pump like this of approximately, on average, give or take, look at these guys. They're like 10%, maybe 9%. Cardano 9%. We have Doge 10%. We have Solana 9%. So some of these large caps are doing really, really well. And I was glad that, I stood my ground and started looking at these larger caps. The last few videos, I started from the top here and slowly trickled my way down the large caps. And you can see Sui's up 9%, and we're doing pretty good. H-Bars, yesterday's video, 9% rocket to the upside. And AVAX, another 9% rocket to the upside. So all the large caps that we've been covering here on the channel for the last week or so, focusing on accumulation on the large caps, right now they're paying dividends. Essentially, we're getting paid here. 9%, 10% on average, which is pretty good. Uniswap, a great move based on the Ethereum's lead. Main DEX for ETH doing well. Even Polkadot's waking up, and we have many others doing very well. Like Monero, not doing so well, obviously, but it's okay. It's within consolidation. Aave is cranking. What about the Athena pump? Guys, What about the Athena pump? 18%. You guys remember when I've been talking about Athena and saying, that stablecoin narrative months and months ago? Guys, those positions right now should be absolutely printing. Right. So this is the thing for a lot of us. We're looking for entries. You have to be buying the dips on even shallower retracements than you expect to get. Because if you're used to bear market conditions, guys, you're not going to get those same type of retracements in bullish conditions. I'm telling you. So you got to be a little bit more aggressive on those dips and get offensive on those dips. And don't try to time the bottoms. Just start scattering buy orders, because literally building a position at a bottom, it's just a matter of accumulation, especially on retracements that are deep enough. And of course, a little bit of fear in the market always helps to get that sense, right? Today, I want to talk about TAO. Slowly, we're coming down. Coming down the list. I want to talk about TAO because I think TAO is undervalued at the current moment. I think TAO could definitely start reclaiming. Near Protocols, another one. I'm going to be doing a couple of these in the next few days. By the end of the week, I want to be going through all of this on the top 100. There's a lot of good ones. Algorand. This is going to take off. These are going to take. I would love to see what VeChain does this cycle. Okay, another heavyweight OG, a little bit of a boomer project, but no doubt stable, meaning at the end of the day, their foundations tech-wise is definitely there. So we got some good gainers still to look forward to. Of course, the 9% to 10% today. Look at, say, Savagery, 10% here, 10% there across the market. But this is the thing, guys. Are you going to buy now after a 10, 12% pump? This is the problem, guys. This is a big issue. Now, what is causing this pump? What is the real reason? What is maybe people front running the news today? Ultimately, we're waiting for some action. What is the action? Well, we know that ultimately we're going to have a Jerome Powell announcement very soon. And his actual announcement at the current moment, the way he's framing things is essentially saying that, hey, he's basically the conditions may warrant interest rate cuts in September. So September's around the corner, guys. And ultimately, if that happens, global liquidity, meaning liquidity is going to enter the market, accessing the US dollar is going to be a lot cheaper. And ultimately, the incentive to hold more risk on assets is going to increase, because ultimately that's where it's at, right? That's where we're going to be putting some of that capital going. And we're going to see tech do well. We're going to see crypto do well. We're going to see the stock market do well. Right now, I think what we're doing here is currently front running the September projection of a rate cut. Okay, so just be careful out there, because it's definitely, a bit of volatility. Now, if we go back and we start looking at what's going on with TAO, let's talk about TAO, guys, because ultimately TAO is a beast of a project. It has done very, very well. Now, if we look at its fundamentals, let's go quickly take a look at what TAO has been up to. I like focusing on, some of the fundamentals, just get an idea where they're applying their capital, human capital, even, economic capital. At core of the Bittensor ecosystem is the production, marketing, and selling of digital commodities. Let's see what they got here pinned. Wrapped TAO airdrop is live. So basically, they're trying to integrate it into the Ethereum network, which is fine. 2 years of bridging Bittensor's neural network to Ethereum. Proven, tested, and secure. Claim your Wrapped TAO. Okay, here. Join the established decentralized AI ecosystem. Guys, there's no doubt in my mind that at the current moment, understanding that Ethereum's ecosystem is its value proposition is crucial for projects, right? The EVM compatibility is crucial for projects. Its ability to tap into Ethereum's liquidity is crucial for projects. And I'm glad to see that Bittensor has realized that it's necessary to have that bridge and have that connection to the EVM to Ethereum. Okay, so that's great. And it's pinned because it's important. And they got an airdrop coming, so I'm wondering how that's going to go. But you can see a little bit more information about it. And that's their headline at the current moment. So pretty good. Bittensor and Friends live meetup 2025. They got something going on there. Earn yield. Been waiting for a high APY. Staking strategies are live, so you can stake and do all your goods. A little bit of DeFi happening here, which is, typical of a well-rounded, established ecosystem. So let's take a look at charts. Let's see what we got here. Can we get an edge? And ultimately, what we really want to do is see what Bittensor has in store for us, because as you can see, this consolidation here at this moment, it could be giving us the final opportunities before a move. Okay, now we've seen what the market has been doing. And if you look at a lot of projects that, we've been discussing here on the channel, even lower caps within hot narratives, DeSci, this and that, the reality is we're catching bids. And Bittensor is a large cap. It is a safer play. It's one of the OGs. We got to reminisce on the past for a second, because what really has changed with sentiment? The reality is that here on the channel, we've been discussing Bittensor all the way down to about the $40 level. That's where we got our first entries. Okay, and then it pumped up like crazy, and this was my initial stages of taking profit, back in the bear markets, and it ran in its first leg to the upside where nobody was expecting the first mini altcoin season, right? And we did get one. Now all of a sudden, you can see double topish, a bit of a range, and the range is still very well defined, and it's super important to identify this, because I'm noticing that there's a lot of projects that also have this type of defined range. Now, what is this defined range? Number one, we have the big picture range. Guys, this is very similar to what I talked about yesterday with H-bar. These ranges are so well defined that they're easier to play, and of course that ambiguity is eliminated, and because of that, you can come up with a setup that is in your favor. You can see range highs, range lows, big picture range. Right? Obviously, the absolute bear market is down here. We're not even going to discuss that, because I don't think we're going to go down there. It is possible. We do have an imbalance here to cause that, but we still have a lot of work to do in order to get there. Number one, we're talking about going against Ethereum. Is that even possible? And the fact that Bittensor now is bridging over to Ethereum liquidity could be a great and important opportunity for Bittensor at the current moment. Okay, so think about that. Now, as you can see, there's that range, and then there's this range. One here, range high and range low, that is also being respected at the current moment. So there's two possible trades here on different time frames and with different potential strategies. However, but at the same time, risk to reward ratio theory needs to apply, right? So if you look at market structure, we got our first impulsive move right into here, and we got another nice consolidation right into here, which is great because that could be defined as an exchange of hands. I don't really look at it as a major retracement, because it's not like we made a lower low below this low and retraced even further, like for a three-wave structure to the downside. It is a flat retracement, so it's a flat ABC, which usually, when we look at this as an exchange of hands, profit taking, buy up, buy the dip, buy the dips. There's equal buyers to sellers, which causes the price to go sideways, healthy, neutralizing the sell pressure, neutralizing everybody that's taking profit. All good, let them take profit, guys. You can't hate on them for taking profit. They're traders. Traders take profit, no doubt. But also there's people that are fundamentally bullish that are looking for a continuation to the upside to eventually see this price get back to range highs at the big picture range, which is all the way up here. So you have to understand there's two players in this market: short-term traders, right, that are taking profit, and longer-term traders that are buying the dip down here at this level in order to prosper or benefit or capitalize for another impulsive move to this level right here. Now, of course, we have a little bit of work to do. Right? We have a bit of work to do. Obviously, we got to break above this high to confirm a higher high. As of now, we're just consolidating in this exchange of hands. The good news is, now I'm just going to throw this out here for a second, from a risk to reward ratio perspective, to enter based on a TP right here. Let me just put the risk to reward ratio tool right here, and you can see where you're going to put your stop loss. Ideally, it's underneath this, so right around this level. That's where I would be putting the stop loss, giving it a bit of wiggle room, and then targeting, obviously, here as my first defensive move. Risk to reward ratio is trash. I'll be clear about that. It's trash. And if you can DCA your average entry a little bit lower, that's even better. But generally speaking, this is where it's at right now within the consolidation. Ideally, what we're doing here is buying into this consolidation for an expectation that it's going to expand and continue to the upside and eventually get to the top of the range. That is the ultimate target. That is the ultimate level of where you should expect a point of interest. Okay, so that's that. Now, if you really are looking at this and you say, well, I want to be very safe, well, then you're going to have to put a stop loss all the way down here. And I'm telling you that it's not even that it's a safe zone, because the reality is if we break below this level, guys, we're coming down to much lower into the bearish levels right down here. This order block is savagery if we come down there, but I don't think it's going to happen. But again, I don't know. I'm just preparing for what I see right now. And what I see is resistance down here. And I see a structure that is worth taking a shot. It's worth getting a position into this level and preparing for this continuation to the upside. If the market does what it needs to do, great. If it doesn't, you have a stop loss. You have an invalidation that is very close to your entry. And like I said, putting the stop loss right around here will give you a great risk to reward, 4 to 1, 4.5 to 1. And even if you want to be a little bit, take a bit early, no problem. Even your ratio is still good here, 3.7 and 1. And if you look at range highs, I know this is a 50-50 shot, not a good entry, but you're hoping for the breakout and the continuation. That's really what's happening. You're buying bottom of the range of a bullish structure for an eventual continuation up. Okay, so that's the game plan. Now let's see if we can find some confluence here with other indicators or oscillators. I got synergy signal for you guys. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what it's giving me. And before I move on, I just want to bring it to your attention. Look at all the volume that's within this corridor right here. Look at this volume within the channel. Guys, there's lots of market participation right now into this zone, as you can see. So I'm liking it. You know, this looks like fair value that has been achieved. It's not oversold. It's not in a discount, right? And it's not overbought. Right? In this way, it's not expensive. It's in a decent, it's at the bottom of the range within fair value. Okay, it's good. So on the cheaper side of the fair value. Awesome. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, let's take a look at momentum. As you guys know, I am a momentum trader, so I did develop my own momentum indicator, and this is Synergy Signal. It's a multi-momentum indicator, which gives you lots of insight regarding momentum signals. And as you can see, we are still in a downtrend with regards to momentum. This was the top right around here. This is another bottom, right? Lower lows, and we're still trekking to the downside. We have no major indication here that we're fully reset, okay? Below the 30 and oversold conditions. I'm going to ask you this. Do we have to? Is it necessary? Did it happen here? No. Did it happen anywhere around here to get oversold? Not really, right? And we kept on dipping. So the question is, do we need to get oversold in bullish conditions, given the fact that we got nice bounces and that we're still respecting this range, not making lower lows? So this is the thing. This is why risk to reward ratio is important, because unless we actually break to the downside and confirm a lower low, literally what we're doing is consolidating. Yes, it could be a descending triangular formation until we get to range highs, and then it might be a bull flag, nice channel for a continuation. This is why I'm not trying to be a hero in this market. I'm not trying to be a hero and trying to front run or do anything like that. What all I want to do is accumulate within good structures and assume the risks that yes, we could come down further, but more importantly, have some dry powder ready to go to buy some dips and improve my average entry and improve my my exposure to the asset, ultimately benefiting in the long term when we start recovering, if we do get a dip in the immediate short term. Just going to keep it out there, guys. There's so many projects right now that are pumping, okay? And this is the thing here. The emotions are there. The FOMO is there. So what you have to understand is that in altcoin seasons, the melt-ups just keep on melting, right? They just keep on melting for no reason because of FOMO and short squeeze after short squeeze. So here we are. Is this the beginning of TAO's journey, breaking structure, a BOS right over here by breaking above $467? Finally confirming a higher high after confirming a slightly lower high, and we go up for a higher high, we start breaking to the upside, and we start moving for another expansion. Just to throw that out there, guys, the next leg to the upside based on Elliott wave theory should be the biggest. And I'm going to explain that in a second. Let's just take a look at what's happening here. We're getting a bit of divergence. You can see double bottom beautifully right here. Divergence right into here. Divergence right into here. It is a Class C bullish divergence on the daily on these two bottoms. Not bad. Double bottom divergence. Class C is a weak one. It's not the strongest, but at least it's there. And as you see the market so nice and green, at least you have something of confluence. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now let's go back to what I was saying earlier. Okay, about ultimately looking for the shift. Ultimately, the shift would be to see this thing break out and make a higher high and extend. Now, if it extends for another leg, okay, the Elliott wave theory is an interesting theory because, and I use Elliott wave very loosely. I'm not an Elliott wave theory type of guy at all. But what I like to do is use it very cleanly in such a way that I want to see if we are going to get some information on whether we are going to get a 5-wave or a 3-wave structure. Now, technically speaking, based on the theory, the first wave is, let's say, this length. We get into a sort of corrective move, whether it be an ABC flat or ABC extended, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Ultimately, a consolidation, a structure, an exchange of hands. And then obviously we go for the next leg. What we have to understand is that if we are going for the next leg technically needs to be bigger than the first leg. So that way the third wave, which is this one right here, needs to be bigger. As you can see, I extended it, right? A little bit more. And that would define find that this whole structure right into here will be a 5-wave structure. So you can see, let me just get this out here. You can see 1, 2, 3, right? This needs to be bigger. We don't know how high we go. Maybe it's up to here. 3, 4, retracement. And again, retracement can go sideways. Doesn't have to be completely retracement, but whatever the case is. And then for another wave, that's a 5-wave structure. And by default, by definition, Elliott wave suggests that this would be an impulsive move. The whole thing would be an impulsive move. And this would be a retracement. This would also be an impulsive move, but the whole thing would be an impulsive move. Then the question is, how parabolic do we go? You know, how high do we go for the actual retracement? Because after the impulse, we should expect that we're going to get a retracement. So let me just explain what I mean here. We'll get to this level. Let's hypothetically say, hypothetical, because again, Elliott wave, you got to use it loosely because you can fit Elliott wave theory into any scenario to fit your narrative. I'm just going to throw that out there. But then again, after here, once we finish the 5 waves, we'll get into a 3-wave. And then the question is, how deep? Is it flat? Is it flat? Do we go sideways? Do we get an exchange of hands here? Do we actually get the exchange of hands right below the previous tops before we get into all-time highs and price discovery? That would be actually bullish. Because that way you can, offboard and let the short-term traders get off, and then we'll pick up some bullish bids and accumulate into the zone for a proper expansion at resistance, which was what we wanted. A nice expansion, volume-induced expansion at resistance. Let's onboard some bulls. So there's a lot to be said here. But there's a lot to wait for because you got to be patient. The structure that we're in currently is defining the next move. And of course, Ethereum is giving us the leg for that opportunity. Guys, pay attention to what's going on here, Bittensor, because any dips, in my opinion, should be bought. All right, guys, if I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor. Slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Feel free to join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. Take care, guys. See you tonight at 8 p.m. EST, where I talk about crypto news and price action. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.